The Lantern Festival of Goguryeo, a spring night carried by light, dear friend. Tonight, if you feel weary after a long day, your eyes are heavy, but your mind is still restless, let me tell you a story of a long-forgotten festival. From a distant time, and the first blossoms began to unfurl on the hillsides. In a kingdom nestled among mountains and rivers, Goguryeo, a land that once shimmered under the skies of ancient East Asia during the early centuries of our era. The people of Goguryeo had a special celebration, one that happened only once each year on the first night of spring, when the last of the snow had melted. The evening breeze glides across your hair, brushes your skin, and carries the scent of damp earth and newly awakened grass. They called it the Night of Floating Lanterns. Imagine you are there. The old syllables drift with the rustling leaves and the river's soft current, weaving a lullaby of perfect stillness. Villagers from the youngest children to the oldest elders gathered by the river, each holding a lotus-shaped lantern made from delicate rice paper soaked in herbal water. Each petal carefully folded by the loving hands of someone in their family, standing at the edge of a gentle river, so clear that you can see each tiny stone resting beneath its surface, glimmering in the moonlight. One by one, each person lets go of their longing for a bountiful harvest, for a healthy newborn, for a traveler to return, for a heart to find safe harbor. Just take a deep breath and feel the scent of herbal candles, fresh paper. Think the gentle bloom of spring spreading through the soil. In the distance, you hear soft footsteps, the rustle of robes, and quiet murmurs drifting through the air like songs carried by the wind. The elders sit with hands folded, eyes reflecting the soft light, their hearts full of something too deep for words. Someone pours hot tea into a small ceramic cup. The rising steam curls like mist, blurring the line between earth and dream, and begins to float, carrying with it the warm light of the tiny flame inside. The glow is not bright, it is soft like the moon, shimmering like memory, delicate as the first dream of spring. Every lantern is a wish, a silent whisper never spoken aloud. Before the lanterns are set afloat, the people sit in a circle, quietly listening to an elder monk recite ancient prayers, not loudly, but in the gentlest voice, barely more than a breath. As sleep draws near, imagine yourself holding a lotus lantern in your hands, your own quiet wish glowing within it. Then, one person rises, bows deeply, and with both hands releases the first lantern onto the water. The lantern, shaped like a lotus flower, touches the surface, gently. Then the second person, and the third. Soon the entire river glows, hundreds, even thousands, of lotus lanterns drifting silently through the night. You might sit quietly among them, saying nothing at all. Children sometimes giggle softly when their lantern drifts farther than another's. No one is in a hurry. Time on that night flows slowly, as if the sky itself wanted to pause and watch the scene unfold, a river lit by light, carrying kind prayers and untroubled hearts. Close your eyes now. Feel the wind on your skin, hear the river lapping at the shore, and the soft chants that sound like the breath of loved ones long gone. You don't need to say it out loud. Just place it on the water and let go. Let the river take it. Just like your worries, your fatigue, your restless thoughts tonight, let them float away. Above, the moon still hangs in silence. Below, the little lights drift on. And on the riverbank, peaceful souls slumber. You too, dear one. The spring rain ritual of Etruria. The first drops of the season, dear friend. Tonight, if your eyes are already half closed, but your thoughts continue to wander like a stream with no banks, let me tell you an old tale. A story of a ritual as light as mist, as peaceful as the first spring rain, and as gentle as the breath of a new season. In a land called Etruria, where green hills roll like great blankets draped over the heart of ancient Italy. Long before mighty Rome ever rose, the Etruscans lived here close to the earth, the sky, the clouds, and to the sacred, silent things they never dared name out loud. This story begins long ago. one of the most beautiful rituals they performed, perhaps one of the gentlest acts ever conceived by humankind, was the calling of the spring rain. Can you imagine? Only whispers, so faint, so quiet, they drift like wind past your ear. They thank the sky for listening. They thank the earth for being ready. And they thank spring for coming home again. You're standing in a soft valley like silk spread across the land, where the trees have only just awakened from their long winter sleep. The air is fresh, tinged with the scent of new grass, and the sky above is utterly still, as if holding its breath for something delicate and unseen. They don't raise their cloaks. Instead, they simply sit beneath the eaves, silent and still, listening to each drop fall onto the tiled roofs, into open palms, onto the earth that has long been thirsty through the winter, to the wandering mist at the edge of the sky. On each stone, they draw the shape of a raindrop sink die made from roots, ashes from the fire the night before, or sometimes just a faint scratch as soft as memory. A promise from the earth and sky that tomorrow will be gentler than today. Just let your mind drift with the raindrop by drop falling onto wooden roofs, through leaves, onto stone steps where you sit in silence. The villagers gather early, each carrying a smooth, flat stone collected from a nearby stream, or from the ancient stone terraces of their ancestors. Every drawn droplet is an invitation, a gentle welcome to the distant clouds. No one shouts, no trumpets, no drums. And then, one day, after the stones have dried, after the ritual has passed, the first rain will come. Not a harsh downpour, no thunder, no wind, but a soft spring rain, fine, gentle, and fragrant, like blossoms just opened. You'll see the Etruscans do not run for shelter. Just like spring rain that needs no invitation, it will come when you are ready. Each raindrop is a heartbeat of nature, a soft rhythm that signals life has returned, dear friend. Picture yourself there in an ancient Etruscan village, nestled between misty skies and green hills. A ritual of stillness, of forgiveness, and of peace. You're sitting beside strangers who feel like family. No one speaks. There is nothing to say, only to listen. The rain becomes a lullaby. Each droplet, a breath, a quiet forgiveness. You may close your eyes and listen deeply. There's no need to imagine anything complex. Perhaps you'll want to draw a droplet too, on paper or only in your mind. And, like the Etruscans, you might whisper a small thank you. Thank you for still being alive today. Thank you for a heart that still beats. Thank you for the gift of hearing rain. And then, you let sleep arrive. Above, the rain still patters softly on the roof. Below the eaves, kind souls remain still. And in your quiet room tonight, ritual is unfolding too. Let sleep hold you as rain embraces the earth, gently, tenderly, with nothing left to carry. The gentle fire ritual of the Celtic Isles. A light in the long night, dear friend. If tonight you find yourself searching for a little stillness for the soul, if the chill outside has crept into your fingertips, and your mind feels like a quiet forest not yet asleep, then allow me to share with you an old tale, a story of fire, of winter, and of gentle silence. Instead, they gathered to light a small fire at the center of the village and sat together around it in what they called the gentle fire ritual. Long ago, in lands where ocean winds howled through cliffside passes and fog wrapped the hills like wool, there are no stars in the sky, like a coarse blanket draped across the heavens. The Celtic people lived scattered across the remote isles off Europe's coast. The first flame is sparked by flint and trembling fingers, not roaring, not fierce, just a small breath of warmth in the middle of a long, dark night. They had no grand cities, no golden palaces, only humble villages, surrounded by forest, stone, and sea elements that were unchanging and calm. They sat in silence in a circle, eyes drawn to the glow, ears turned toward the whispers of ancestral stories spoken so gently. It seemed even the night didn't want to interrupt. When winter arrived long, Cold and solemn, the Celts did not try to fight it. Picture this: a winter night. The wind howls beyond the walls. The trees have gone quiet. It flickers gently across your face, and in its light, time begins to soften. Just let this soft glow seep into your mind, like warm water poured into a cold cup. In the center of the village, where the ground had been cleared since afternoon, a small group of people slowly places dry branches on a pile, not to warm the body, but to bring a soft light. You hear the crackle of the wood-like whispers from the deep forest. No one feels alone. No one needs to hide. In the eyes of the person beside you, you see something familiar, a distant memory, whose name you've long forgotten. No one leaves, 'cause this fire doesn't just warm the body, keeps the soul from growing cold. The Celts did not dance around the fire. They did not sing or shout. Like the flame itself, burning slowly, softly. One elder begins to speak, not with drama, but in a rhythm as soft as a lullaby. Long ago, my grandfather's grandfather once sat here, beside a fire just like this, on a night just as cold as this one. The story has no suspense, no climax. Only fragments of human life, memories of planting seeds in spring, or of a sea voyage never returned. Perhaps it's one of your ancestors. Perhaps it's an old friend. Or maybe it's you from a very long time ago. And when one person finishes, another begins. Gently, like passing a glowing ember. No one interrupts, no one hurries. Let sleep come as night comes to the Celtic hills, quietly, wordlessly. Some say nothing at all. But within that glow, they see themselves as if the fire were a warm mirror, reflecting pieces of themselves long forgotten. Dear friend, now imagine you are sitting there too. The fire does not blaze. You don't need to think. You don't need to plan tomorrow. You hear the wind hissing past the thatched roof. But here, inside this circle, you are sheltered. The fire keeps burning small, steady, but enough for everyone to see each other clearly. When the wind picks up, people simply pull their cloaks a little tighter. You may close your eyes now and imagine someone is telling you a quiet story, not to teach, not to entertain, just to keep you company by the fire. In the fire's gentle glow, you don't have to do anything at all. Just listen. And breathe. Inhale, exhale. And if your eyelids begin to grow heavy, let them fall. Outside, the snow may fall. But inside, the fire still glows. And in your heart tonight, there is also a quiet light, not bursting, not loud. The dream market of ancient Persia, a quiet path into sleep, dear friend. If tonight your mind still wanders through half-closed thoughts, you've already turned off the lights but your breath hasn't yet settled into the rhythm of sleep, then please stay with me a little longer. And yet somehow always has. Let me tell you of a place that may not have existed. A place known as the Dream Market, tucked deep within the winding streets of ancient Persia, where desert dust and domed shadows blended together like the stanzas of an unfinished poem. No one remembers exactly where it began, or why it was even called a market. Because this was a place with no shouts, no bargaining, no noise, only fragrance, gentle light, and the sweet silence of mint tea in a porcelain cup. Now imagine yourself arriving. Paper lanterns float above, each one glowing faintly like a dream adrift between stars. The air carries the soft scent of incense, not heavy. Just a trace of something distant, something you may have smelled before. In a dream you've long forgotten. They simply sit quietly, occasionally offering a slow smile as if they already know you haven't come to buy anything, but to find something lost, something once dear to your soul. Night has fallen like a dark silk veil over the skies of old Isfahan. You turn into a narrow walkway paved with old red bricks, where a line is written in your own handwriting, line from a dream you never managed to write down. The stalls are simple. Just low tables resting atop hand-woven Persian carpets, soft as clouds. The vendors do not call out. They don't even look up. The tea seller, docent tea, ask what you'd like. he simply pours warm mint tea into a tiny glass, just enough to warm your hands, just enough to let the steam rise around your face like a memory returning. Spread before you are odd, quiet treasures. A memory returns. An ivory comb that still carries the faintest memory of someone's long-ago hair. A perfume bottle, long dry, yet when opened, releases a scent that stirs the heart. A tiny bell that only rings when you think of a childhood friend. A blank notebook, except for the first page. People walk slowly in the dream market. Not because of crowds, but because this is not a place for haste. You may sit at a small tea stand tucked in a corner. You sip quietly, and almost without realizing it. Perhaps the sound of footsteps echoing in the cold halls of your old school. Perhaps the look of someone waiting beneath a pomegranate tree. Or maybe just the feel of your small hand in someone else's on a distant winter-esque morning. There is no closing time. People leave only when they feel ready. You may purchase something not with money, but with a nod. When you hold an item gently and smile, the vendor will simply bow as if they've been keeping it safe for you all along until the day your heart remembered. And some things you will not take. You'll simply pause to gaze, then move on. Because some memories are only meant to be seen once, like an unfinished painting, reminding you that you still feel. Dear friend, close your eyes now and picture yourself wandering slowly through this market beneath hanging silks. Through narrow alleys with soft string music floating in the air like dust in golden light. Each step is a step deeper into sleep. Each stall, a dream you once lost. Each scent, a breath leading you further from worry. No need to rush. No need to stay alert. No need to check your phone one last time. Just breathe gently and let the images drift through your mind like threads carried on a desert breeze. Above, the Persian moon hangs full and silver. Beneath your feet, old stone tiles still hold the day's warmth. All around you, the market breathes in time with your sleep. A sleep scented with mint and incense, soft as a Persian carpet, and deep as an unspeakable memory. And now it's time to rest. Close your eyes and don't think about anything else. Find the most comfortable position for yourself and let's enter the dream together. Good night.